Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Sarasota. My name is Jaryn Nelson, and I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner at the center. We're so pleased you have chosen to spend some time with us today. By the way, if you are watching us on Facebook, please give us a like or perhaps share this so others can also watch and enjoy. And now, as we do every Sunday, I greet you with Namaste. Namaste is a Sanskrit word that means the divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. As a reminder, although our doors may be temporarily closed, please know our hearts are open wide. Thankfully, social distancing does not have to mean spiritual or social isolation. In every moment, we can remember the truth of our oneness with each other and with all of life. Though physically apart, we can still maintain community as we are doing right now in this shared time together via technology. I would like to extend a special welcome to those who may be visiting with us for the first time via this platform. If you are in the Sarasota area, we hope to see you in person once we're able to meet again at the Southgate Community Center in Sarasota. Every Sunday, we read together our community declaration, which states what we as a spiritual center are about. The words can now be seen on your screen from our website. Wherever you are right now, I invite you to join me in giving voice to this declaration and read it aloud with me now. We are a spiritual center that honors all paths to God. Ours is a positive message, inspiring our possibilities and offering spiritual tools for transforming our lives and helping to make the world a better place. Here, we can find peace of mind, belonging to a spiritual home, and a personal relationship with the God of our understanding. We are here to discover what we already know. And while we are showing you our website at www.cslsarasota.com, I'd like to draw your attention to the green prayer request button. We invite you to use this to send us your request for prayer support. At the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota, we believe in the power of affirmative prayer and in knowing spiritual truth for resolving all of life's challenges. We are blessed to have 3 licensed spiritual practitioners at our center: Kathleen Frankert, Jim Grove, and me, who are available to know and affirm spiritual truth with and for you in whatever challenge you may be experiencing. Here on our website, you can also sign up to receive our weekly email newsletter to keep you informed of our activities. And speaking of activities, our spiritual living circles continue each Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. via Zoom conferencing technology. Everyone is invited to join in a 1-hour discussion and faith lift hosted by licensed spiritual practitioner Jim Grove. Each week's discussion focuses on an article from the current month's Science of Mind magazine. And if you are a newcomer to the circle, you will receive a free 6-month subscription to that magazine. Our next circle is this coming Wednesday, April 15th. If you would like to participate, please email Jim at the email address on your screen, and he will send you the Zoom conference invitation along with this week's discussion guide. Also, every Thursday, Power Up Miracle Moments happens at 4 p.m. This is a new opportunity we're offering to meet for prayer and spiritual support via conference call. It is co-led by licensed spiritual practitioners Kathleen Frankert and me. This is a great way to plug in and supercharge your spiritual practice and your connection to the one power and presence as we navigate these challenging times, and all in 30 minutes. During the group calls, you can request affirmative prayer as we join together in spiritual community. There is no charge to participate, and you may attend every week or whenever you have the need. Operators and Spirit will be standing by each Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Please contact Kathleen or me for the telephone number and passcode, or with any other questions you may have. Our contact information is on the screen, or on our website you can click on the staff button, then the practitioner button to find our contact information as well. And now, as we head into our time of prayer and meditation, I invite you to take a deep and relaxing breath. If it's comfortable, feel free to close your eyes or let the eyes have a soft focus. Just breathe. As Bob Teesdale sings the chant, "All is Well" by Karen Drucker, allow the truth of these words to sink in. Know that all is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well.
All is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well, all is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well. 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 I can rest. I am safe. All is well.
As we relax and surrender into the reassuring truth expressed in this chant, right here and now, I bask in the knowing that there is only one life, one love, one support, one source of supply, one infinite, omnipresent spirit that I call God, and it is infinite good. Rooted in this assurance of the one and the truth of its omnipresent good, I know that it, and the full essence of it, is right where I am. Furthermore, since it inhabits all space, it is therefore at the exact place where each and every person is, meeting them in their time of need, regardless of what their need is. No one is excluded from the love and givingness of God. The gifts of God have already been given to all its creation. Grounded in this timeless truth, we accept the omnipresence of God in our lives. We know that we are never alone, never forgotten, never rejected, never not supported, never without the guidance of infinite intelligence. Steadied in this remembrance of who we are and of our divine inheritance, we accept and wholeheartedly embrace our unity with divine presence and divine guidance. We accept and wholeheartedly embrace our unity with unfailing support and infinite intelligence. We accept and wholeheartedly embrace our unity with extravagant supply, unconditional love, health, harmony, wholeness, safety, with all manner of good. While we may be experiencing some challenges, we aren't sticking our head in the sand regarding the things that cause us worry or concern. No, instead, in faith, we are looking beyond these situations to brighter days. We are putting all in proper perspective by aligning with the truth of our oneness with the One. We're seeing the broader and higher vision of God that sees beyond appearances, and we're focusing on truth with a capital T. This truth is that we are one with the all good of God now and forever. And right here and now, we accept the goodness of God as our own. We accept all of it. And divine intelligence is guiding our every move, letting us know what is ours to do, and we will willingly do our best to do it. That which seems to be out of our control, we hand it over. We let it go and release it to God. Steeped in trust, we let go of the shore of expectations that would try to dictate what our good should look like. For we know we can trust divine love to be for us, to act on our behalf, never against us. We can trust that there is no problem too big for an all-powerful, all-knowing, omnipresent God. And now, in faith, in trust, in deep, abounding gratitude, we joyfully accept and allow our good, for it has already been given to us by God. With open minds, with open hearts and hands, we accept and allow the influx of our greatest, highest good. We let it be so, and so it is.
All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. All is well. All is well. All is well. is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. Let go of the shore and let the waters carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the waters carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. You have all you need, it's all inside of you. Just close your eyes and breathe and know that you won't safe. Oh, let go of the shore and let the waters carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. No need to make a plan, your heart will be your compass. Just lift your sails in faith and trust you will all arrive. Oh, let go of the shore, let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Float into the mystery. Float into the mystery.
Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our spiritual leader, Reverend Karen Wolfson. Her empowering message for today is entitled Spiritual Tools for Tough Times. Welcome, Reverend Karen.
Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Close your eyes, breathe, and know that you are safe. I love those words. They're so serene and so comforting, and yet it might be that letting go is about the last thing you feel you can do right now or even want to, but stay with me. Stay with me on this, because if you're feeling overwhelmed by this time of global crisis and the impact that it's having on your life and the life of your loved ones, then maybe letting go of the shore, as the song says, letting go may just be the tool that can lead you to a sense of calm and even to the guidance that you need right now. So, in that vein, I'm going to be talking about spiritual tools for tough times today and next Sunday. But first, let's check in. How are you doing? I want you to know that you're on my mind during the week. Of course, many of you I know, and so I can see your faces in my mind's eye. And there are many of you whom I have never met, and I'm so glad that you are out there. I feel connected to you even though we don't know one another, and even though we're in a time of such seeming separation. But thank you. I know you're there, and I thank you for joining in with us today. And I trust that you are, all of you, doing well. And if we can be of support for that journey with you, that's why we're here. So, how long has it been? How long has it been that we've been gradually isolating more and more from having to do this, from more and more from one another, from the life we were accustomed to? And furthermore, now it's gone on for a while, and it seems that it may last indefinitely. Who knows? Nobody seems to know. But it occurred to me because of all that, that now might be a good time for us to remind ourselves of some spiritual tools. Not for thriving, not for just surviving, but for thriving during these challenging times. So, as I said, this week and next, spiritual tools for tough times. Now, recently there has been an abundance of material that has been shared by folks with each other, and we get it by means of email and Facebook and the internet and magazine articles, self-help tips, self-care tips, how to help each other. It's wonderful to see the generosity and the great number of ideas and the creative thinking that is going on among our fellow travelers. And I've used many of these myself, found them very helpful. And yet it can become overwhelming. There's just so many ways to navigate. And then, for me, I calmed right down when I remembered what Wayne Dyer said, which is this. It's very simple. There is a spiritual solution for every problem. Yes, there's a spiritual solution for every problem. And for purposes of our conversation today, there is a spiritual tool for every problem. Now, I'm not discounting the practical value of the many, many tools that are available in our material walking around world, but these material world things can only take us so far. Because, by their very nature, in our material five-sensory world, they're limited by space and time. And so they do have limits. They can only take us so far. But when we can recognize that there's always a spiritual solution, that opens us up to an entirely new set of possibilities, because in the realm of the spiritual, it is the dimension of infinite possibilities. Limitless possibilities. So, at this time all over the world, as people have been subjected to a time of pain and unknowns and bewilderment, wouldn't we love to have, a procedure manual that we could take down off the shelf and refer to, but there isn't any such thing, is there? But wait, maybe there is. I'm going to call it a guidance template. And it is a spiritual solution, and it is at the core of all the great spiritual teachings and scriptures throughout the ages. These are universal life principles that are available for all of us, irrespective of religious affiliation, or maybe if we have no religious affiliation. Doesn't matter. These are all available to us all the time. And I'll sum them up this way. How's that? Taking the spiritual message of the ages, summing it up in about 2 sentences. Whatever the question, the answer is God. whatever the question, the answer is God. And by God, I'm referring to that infinite creator, that power, that intelligence, that love, by whom we're created and from whom we are created. And as we let go of the shore, that is, turn our attention to that one, we find we are guided and we are supported in every action, every situation, from the most minute to the most immense. It's always there. This loving presence is infinitely intelligent. It is the infinite source behind everything we want, need to know. And I can testify that when I let go and pay attention to that, well, it's like amazing grace. Guidance and support and solutions and more show up in ways I could have never imagined or even created. So then I pray and I paddle the boat. This is about turning to this source and being guided and then being helped as we turn to do what is right in front of us. And what I notice is that when I proceed in this way, starting with the spiritual solution, then whatever is mine to do that is right in front of me, I do with a lighter heart, knowing that I'm not alone. Not alone. The answer is God, as near as every breath, as near as every heartbeat. And that is an answer that leads us to thriving and not just surviving. So I have a little story to share with you. When I was a kid, my family used to go camping up in the north woods of Minnesota. And on this particular camping trip, oh, and let me say, it was roughing it. We did the tents, we did the sleeping bags, the camp stove, eating outside. I outgrew it too, by the way. About the age of 13, I decided, okay, no more camping. But when I was very young, I really did enjoy it. So there we were, up on the banks of the Cowichaway River in northern Minnesota. And my little brother was 4 years old, and he asked my dad to take him out on the river in a canoe. They could go paddling. And so Dad said, sure. And so out they went on the river, and they were paddling their canoe, or Dad was paddling, and Johnny decided he wanted to paddle. Johnny was my little brother. And so Dad, thinking, well, what harm could come of it? And so he said, sure. And so Johnny takes the paddle, and well, I guess Dad underestimated the exuberance of a little 4-year-old at being able to paddle the canoe, because the next thing they knew, the canoe had tipped, almost capsized, and Dad ended up in the water. There was a lot of water in the canoe, and somehow, by some miracle, my little brother was still in the canoe. Well, my dad, knowing that the canoe could easily tip if he tried to get back into it, he decided that was not an option. And by the way, they were wearing life jackets. So what Dad did was go to the end of the canoe and keep it steady as he was in the water, and probably kicking his feet a little bit to maneuver the canoe. And my brother, sitting there in the canoe, half full of water, was a little bit disturbed. He said, Daddy, what's going to happen to us? What's going to happen to us? And my dad simply said, Johnny, we'll be just fine as long as you sit very still. And so they floated along for a bit, with Dad kicking gently to maneuver the canoe, and Johnny sitting still as a statue, trusting and knowing that his daddy was keeping him safe and they would be okay. It ended well. Someone from the shore saw them and came out and with a motorboat and took them in. Now, why do I tell you this story? Well, my dear ones, our collective canoe has nearly capsized. And we can't help but wonder most every day, what's going to happen to us? What is the question? The answer is God. What is going to happen to us? We'll be okay. Just sit still and trust that something is safely guiding us through the time of uncertainty and upheaval. Sit still. Come to think of it, by order of our leaders, we've been given the opportunity to do just that, to sit still in our homes. Up until a few weeks ago, we were going at an exhausting pace of living, no doubt, most of us, lots of activities and very busy. And now, in disbelief and worry and fear that what has suddenly happened, there's a tendency to flail about, like maybe in the water, like my dad might have been tempted to do. But there's a tendency to flail about, trying to control things that seem so out of control, to resist, to think, oh, surely we have to be busy doing something. Don't tell me to sit still. And yet, let's take this as a gift. Let us just sit still. Be still. I know of no spiritual teaching that tells us to run faster and be busier. In some way, all of these universal principles invite us to the sweet relief of simply sitting still. Now that takes trust, doesn't it? Just like little Johnny in the canoe, who sat very still. How could he do that? Be calm? Because he was trusting. Why? Because his daddy had promised, we'll be okay. I've got you. And that is the promise for us, the spiritual promise. I love the biblical scripture, one of the many, many ways that this promise is spoken for us. I will never leave you or forsake you. Trust. Another word for trust, another way to trust, is relax. Relax. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Relax. Sometimes, if I'm really feeling overwhelmed, trust might be a stretch. But then I remember all I have to do is just sit still and relax for a moment. And in doing that, I am trusting. And you are too. Listen to these words by Reverend Dr. Raymond Charles Barker, who was a minister and teacher and author in our religious science philosophy. He said, I am always sustained by a perfect God who blesses me in every situation. I know that I am held lovingly and firmly in the law of good. The peace that passes all understanding is mine, because I let God do the work. I let God do the work. Why? And he continues, because the power which created me is in me and working through me. And this is true for you, as he said, the power which created me is in me and working through me. And that is why we can trust. We can comfortably relax, sit still, and trust. And from that moment, we will know what is the next thing to do, to take care of. So there you have it. That's your first spiritual tool for tough times. Relax, sit still, and trust. Will you give it a try this week? I'm going to do it again and again and again, and I'll think about you when I am. And by the way, if you are one of the many, many, many individuals who is on the front lines doing the vital, non-stop work of the medical professionals, the first responders, the food providers, the retail providers, and more, taking care of all of us, it may feel like this doesn't apply. How can I possibly relax and sit still? So try this. Just try tapping into this infinite resource by simply taking a moment. Just take a moment to stop, take 3 breaths, and in that moment of stillness, know that you are not alone. God is as near as your every breath, as near as your every heartbeat. Know that. And by the way, know that we are all profoundly grateful to each of you on the front lines for us. I'm going to wrap this up with something by Jeff Foster, an interesting man. I invite you to Google him, Google for information about him, but here's what he wrote. Take these words to heart. Let yourself rest. If you're exhausted, rest. If you don't feel like starting a new project, don't. If you don't feel the urge to make something new, just rest in the beauty of the old, the familiar, the known. If you don't feel like talking, stay silent. If you're fed up with the news, turn it off. If you want to postpone something until tomorrow, then postpone it. If you want to do nothing, let yourself do nothing today. And feel the vast fullness of the emptiness, the vastness of the silence, the sheer aliveness in your unproductive moments. Time does not always need to be filled. You are enough, simply in your being. You are enough, simply in your being. And now take the songs that the words of the song that you're going to hear from Jaryn. Release, let go, all is well. I'll see you next Sunday.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God, it was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was an end. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go, and let the Spirit run my life. My heart is open wide, yes, and I am one with God. No more struggle, no more strife. We
Reverend Karen. And now it is time for our offering. During these times of unprecedented challenges, we realize more than ever how interconnected and interdependent we are. It is certainly a time of supporting each other. We, as the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota, are here to support you in prayer, inspiration, encouragement, and especially opportunities for virtual community and connection. And we thank you for your generous and heartfelt financial support so that we can continue to support you. There are 3 simple ways you can do this. On your screen, you'll see our website where you can select the Donate button, which allows you to contribute via PayPal or by using your own credit card. Or mail a check to our address shown there on the website. You can also set up automatic contributions through your own online banking. And now, I invite you to take your virtual gift in your hand, place it over your heart, blessing it as you share it, and know this with me. My gift goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper, and the divine flow returns it to me multiplied abundantly. All together, please repeat after me. I give thanks that I may share of my good, my love, and my support. And now, let this be a quiet time of reflection on just how blessed we truly are as we hear Bob sing, I Am So Blessed by Karen Drucker.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Now, as we conclude this sacred time together, let us move forward into our day and the week ahead, affirming that we go forward in health, safety, and in perfect peace. So now, please listen to Bob, or join in if you like, in singing our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Thank you for being here with us. Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, we are family. Let us walk with each other be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternal.